An Orange County man is in jail accused of shooting and killing his 83-year-old wife. He is being charged with first-degree murder. The report says the couple, both in their 80s, were arguing, and the husband ended the argument by shooting his wife to death. His wife, he told investigators, who had been struggling with dementia. This all happened Saturday afternoon in the couple's Orlando home. According to the report, the husband, 80-year-old William Simmons, called 911 to say that he had just shot his wife, 83-year-old Nancy Simmons. He told the dispatcher that his wife was down and I'm just sitting here. When they got to that house, they found Nancy dead on the kitchen floor with a gunshot wound to her chest. Simmons told investigators he and his wife were arguing over a cruise, that his wife Nancy kept calling him a name he found triggering, that he went to his bedroom closet, pointed the gun at her, and shot her in the kitchen. Simmons went on to say that his wife had dementia and that he would rather live in prison than to continue to deal with her.
This story is extreme, but so many caregivers out there are struggling with burnout and the feeling of hopelessness, and caring for someone with dementia is all the more difficult. Joining us now in studio is Derwin Anderson, the executive director of the Alzheimer's and Dementia Resource Center. Derwin, thank you so much for being here and talking about this difficult topic.
Thank you so much for having me.
Let's talk about this first. There's got to be a misunderstanding about caring for people with dementia. What don't people understand?
Well, they don't understand that that person that they are presently dealing with is not the same person that they remember and that they love so much. A lot has changed. Their mind, their cognition, and their behavior has been altered in a way that that person is just not the same. And so as you look at them, as you deal with them, as you try to help them, you have to think through that lens.
It must be very trying for people who love somebody and they don't want to fail them in their time of need, but it is hard to care for someone going through something like this. Talk about the burnout and the stress, and do you see it more often in older couples?
So because of dynamics of families, it usually is a family member that's taking care of the person living with the disease. 75% of caregivers are family members, and so the burnout is real because life goes on. There are jobs, there are other people in the situation, and so the burnout is real. Things like, anger that we see rise up, and just all kinds of different things, because it's not just the memory. There's physical changes, psychological changes, and so the stress that it puts on that person and even on a family is immense. And a lot of family members and people that are caregivers that are not family members, they don't know where to go for help. They don't know what to do. And so they care for someone isolated from any help and any resources.
And a lot of times people don't want to ask for help. What are some red flags that family members can be looking for or neighbors can be looking for in order to just show that someone's struggling, that they do need help? What should they be looking for?
Atypical behavior for that person, outburst of anger, isolation, those are, and even depression. Those are things that you can see that help you understand something is going on with the caregiver. And so what we do at ADRC, we help the caregiver and give them the support, the resources that they need so that they can navigate how to care for that person, because there's dignity in both lives. There's dignity in the life of the person living with the disease, but also in the caregiver. And we want to help support the dignity that's in both of those lives.
And you don't just help them with services. What else do you guys offer? You were talking about some support groups?
Yeah, we offer support groups online and in person. We offer educational workshops. And then we do what we call care navigation, and that's helping them navigate all of the available resources for them. And there are a lot of resources, but if you don't know, you don't know. And so we tell people, you don't have to know it all, but we will help you through it all.
How do you bring up the conversation with a caregiver who is maybe reluctant to move their loved one into a facility? How do you go about bringing that up?
Very carefully, but it's really about making sure, again, the dignity piece. How can we dignify your life as the caregiver and then the person living with the disease? And so it's a careful conversation, and every situation is different, as we were talking about earlier. There's no two situations that are the same. And so you bring it up casually, and it depends on the caregiver and their personality and then the relationship that you have with the caregiver. But at times you have to realize, okay, somebody's got to step in and do something because we do not want a tragic situation like we're talking about this evening.
I heard something years ago. I had a grandmother who had dementia, and you notice little things over the years before the actual diagnosis. And once I heard that someone's normally struggling with the early signs of dementia for like 7 to 8 years before
Correct.
they're diagnosed. Are there any warning signs that you can tell us about?
Well, again, it's the change in the behavior, it's the agitation that you see that is not normal for that person, the cognitive decline that's there. So all of these things are all encompassing. And again, no two situations are the same. And so knowing the person and then seeing and addressing the changes. And you're right, there are micro changes that happen, and they happen long before there's a diagnosis. Mm-hmm. And the thing that's important to realize too is the diagnosis can only be based on what is seen. And until that person passes and you can actually physically look at the brain, you really don't know what you were dealing with. Mm-hmm. So the symptoms may point to like a Lewy body dementia or a vascular dementia or Alzheimer's, but until you look at that physical brain after they pass, then you can say they had actually multiple. They had more than one type of dementia. And so it's very complex, and that's why it's so important that no one navigates this alone.
Tell people where they can get more information about your center.
Yes, so we are ADRC, the Alzheimer's and Dementia Resource Center, adrccares.org, and our phone number is 407-436-7750, and we are here to help.
Derwin, thank you so much for joining us. Hopefully people at home can reach out and get the help that they need. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Stuart.